What up, riders? It's another day here at Rock Creek Cyclery. We got a bunch of tune-ups to do. In this video, we're going to show you how we do a tune-up on a road bike. We got a pretty nice road bike here. A giant TCR Advance 11-speed Ultegra. What kind of wheels? Carbon giant wheel. First step, spray it with super bike wash, this pink stuff. Yeah, just pretty much spray the bike. Don't get it wet first. Spray it with this first. Okay. Spray it in that area where you might need a scrub, like the brakes. They have a lot of brake dust. The chain rings. That has a lot of dirt and grit. Pulleys, spray it on the pulleys. Dropouts. Rear brake. Bottle cage area. And also stem. That thing gets dirty. Front of the bike. You get the point. Get yourself some good bike spray. Spray it first. If you don't have one, you can make one with soapy water. Next, you get yourself a bucket with some brushes. All kinds of brushes. Let's dump some of this old water out. We're giving the brushes a quick rinse. I let them soak with soapy water overnight, so that they're clean the next day after, brushing bikes with them. So the secret ingredient is Dawn. It's not that much of a secret. You get your bucket, put some Dawn in there. Don't be afraid. Get it going. Okay. Now you pick your favorite brush for now. This is mine. And then before the bike wash dries up, you got to get in there. So first you wash it. First I get the dirt off. There's different steps of cleaning. Dawn is gonna get all the dust off. Also some grease. Not all the grease. Not the tough grease. You'll need a degreaser for that. First, we're just getting the dirt off. Dirt, some of the other stuff too. Now I'm gonna get a different kind of brush. Let's see. I like this one for the drivetrain. I can kind of get the pulleys from each side. I got all kinds of brushes. Some from the dollar store. Some from, Fred Meyer. You see, that's a good one for that. See, look. That's perfect for that. Anyways, you get the point. Okay, it's all clean. We give it one good scrub with all the different brushes all over the frame, the gears. See, we got this little thing on here now, so you can spin it and get the crank. And so you get all the quick stuff off, all the dirt, all the grizz that gets stuck on there. So now we'll let it dry for a little bit, and then we're gonna blow it off with some air, and we'll go from there. We got ear and eye protection. Let's go. So I'll spin the wheel and then I'll blast it all at the same time. Okay, we can be blowing the bike all day, but we don't have time for that. So we just try to get the water out, you know, as much as we can. That compressor will die if we just keep doing that, you know. So now we're gonna spray the bike with some WD. So water is not good for the bike. Blowing some air onto it, compressed air, will get some of the water, but not all the water. So when we spray with WD, like all around the pivots and stuff like that, it displaces the water. That's what's a water displacer. And then you can blow some more water off of it. You know, blow some air again after we do this WD spraying. Okay, so you'll need some WD. I like this to put it in a spray bottle. Get yourself a rag. We have these red rags. This one's kind of clean. And then what you do is I catch it with the rag and then I'll spray the brake. So like if I'm spraying this way, the rag's catching it the other way. And then I'll go in and wipe it off with the same rag. Get in there like this, do this one, you know what I mean? The good old elbow grease. You get it underneath the brake. So you spray it, you wipe it off. You don't have to give it a full wipe. Spray it. Try to aim for pivots. I aim for pulleys. I sprayed it in the back. And then I wipe it off before it drips onto the ground. I'll put my rag down here, spray the front derailleur. I think that just needs 1 or 2 sprays. I'll spray near the chainring bolts. And then I'll wipe it off. I don't want any WD on the bottom bracket. Since we're doing a basic tune, we don't have to take off the crank. So then like that, you don't have to take off the crank. You just still kind of clean that area in there. So you get your rag in there, right? I'll show you. Just like that. And then you can turn it. Watch your fingers, this is a dangerous spot. You get the point, you spray it, you wipe it off. And then we're gonna get our air compressor, blow off the WD and water off. Let me get this phone. We spray WD, we wipe down, we blew it with air. Now you get one of these, a pick, and you pick at the pulleys. Pick at everything. Try to get all that bike mung out of there. Lower pulley, top pulley. Get a close look. Get your stool and sit down and clean it even better. You know, get all kinds of picks. So now you get yourself a cleaner rag, and then we're gonna try to wipe off the excess WD. And you basically do one of these again. You gotta clean the teeth of the cranks. That's where the chain rides on. So that's what wears out your chain. I didn't really spray WD on the chain. I'll show you what I do on the chain. Time to go on to the other side. Sometimes Dawn doesn't get off caked things. Sometimes grease gets all caked in there onto the frame and Dawn doesn't do it. And the WD does. Wipe it underneath the frame. Next step. This is how you clean the chain. Once you did your bike wash, you run your brush through it, wipe it off, and you know all the WD spraying and airing and all that. Now we can clean it with some chain citrus solvent. spray it on the rag like that, and then I just basically run it over it, or I do like a taco right here, and then run it, change spots. So we're wiping off all the sides and the barrels, getting some fluid in there, some solvent on the little rollers of the chain. Let's see if you can see. You rub it in there and then it gets cleaner. That's for sure. It gets way cleaner. So the WD gives the metal like a little shine. You don't want it to be too much where you touch it and it gets into your hand. Just enough to like give that metal a nice coating. You know? Get it even cleaner. Alright, so WD is not a lube, it's a cleaner, most like, and a protector. So now we're gonna lube everything still. Alright, so now it's clean. Has some WD here and there, but we'll wipe it off like this. You can kind of see it and then it gets shiny. Right? So you'll do that. Okay. Let's lube the cables. Let's start with that first. So let's bring it down to the smallest gear. Your little gear. Imagine you have a little gear there. Right? And then same for the front derailleur. Bring it to the small gear. Boom, small gear. All right. So how do you lube the cables if they're all internal? Well, here you go. Bring the barrel adjuster all the way in, reset it. And then, or you can do it with your rag. Like that, you clean it and you reset it. Then unbolt the cable from the derailleur. Then you slide it up a little bit, the housing out of the, you know, the holes there. And then you can expose, if you take the cap out of the housing, you can expose the cable. So this housing is kind of old. This lady's been riding that bike, so it definitely needs it. So we'll put some lube in there. And then where's the other cable? It's right over here. So check it out. Now that I undid the bolt, the housing is pretty bad right there. So we'll have to definitely replace that. That means undoing the bar tape. So now it's just keeps adding up. You know, sometimes the cable's okay and you leave it and you lube it and put it back on and it's fine. In this case, she probably has really bad shifting because of the cable and housing not being changed. Now we're not giving you some friction in there, basically. A lot of friction. Okay, well, that means also we have to do internal routing on the bike. So see, there it goes. Now this video, it's turned into something else. So yeah, let's just put it on time lapse and get it done. I'll show you how to lube the front and the brakes. Internal cable is done. I also wrapped it up, looking good. We got a new cable in there. The old one was fraying. So now we're gonna lube the cables. So this is how we do it. Undo your cable from the brake if it's internal. On the front, you don't have to do that. The front derailleur you do, and the rear derailleur. So for the rear brake, I flip over the bike like this. Then I get my lube. And then I'll put some in here. That would cover that housing into the frame. this one there. So yeah, put them in there. At the same time, you can lube some pivots in the brake down in there, down in here, barrel adjuster, all the moving parts. Put some tri-flow in there. Now I'll flip the bike over even more, and we're gonna do the front portion of the brake, of the rear brake housing, this one here. So I'll drizzle some lube, drip some lube in there. Since the bike is upside down, it'll go down gravity into the handlebar. Same with this spot. It'll go down into the housing. Alright, what's next? Front derailleur. Same idea. This is the front derailleur here, the housing. You take off the cap of the housing and then you drizzle some in there. Just put enough. The rear housing, that was a brand new cable end housing, so we could put some on, but we don't have to since it's all nice inside. Okay, that's pretty much how we lube cables on road bikes nowadays. You flip the bike over, put some lube in there. So now I'm doing the front brake. Drizzle it in that area there, and then since this one's attached, you can pump it, and then put some on the pivots. Yeah, work it in, you know. Okay, so I'm going to attach the rear brake back to the anchor bolt. This one. And then so I can pump it and get the lube moving. Same for the shifters. And we're getting closer to getting it done. So once it's all lubed and clean, then we'll tune the wheels. We'll put the wheels back on, make sure the brakes work, make sure the shifting works. And that's pretty much it. So it's a different day. We ended up needing another spoke, so I had to order another spoke. It finally arrived. Now we're doing the free hub body cleaning. It has seal bearings, and the bearings feel good, so we don't have to do too much to the wheel. Okay, for this fancy giant wheel, it's an extra pain in the ass because every time you need to true the wheel, you got to take the tire off, the rim tape, and you need a special tool to true the wheel. So you better be able to afford it because it takes a lot of time to just get your wheels straight. And then it's a straight pull, so you got to make sure you don't twist the spoke so it doesn't break. This just takes extra effort, that's for sure. That's for sure.
I think Sadie literally gets warm in there. Because when I go in, she has the blankets off.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's why she doesn't mind coming. She knows that she's fine.
I'm not sure. Maybe we can get bento burgers close by.
Yeah.
And it's always good. all done. I just came back from the test ride. Man, it rides nice. TCR Advance with Ultegra. I'm a big guy, so I like, you know, get on the pedals and put some power down and make sure there's no creaks, no weird noises like shifting noises and, you know, rattling, and make sure the tires are pumped, everything's tight. Yeah, man, all done. And then the last thing is call the customer. Let her know her bike is ready. Bike's done, come and get it. Showroom shine is the finishing touch. It really gives it a good shine. It really does. It's like Armor All. Gets all the fingerprints off, all the greasy things, greasy fingerprints. Okay, peace out.